In this video we're going to talk about how to hit through the golf ball, but I also once heard Pete Cowen, who's a world famous golf coach, talk about walking through the ball. And I really like that sort of idea and feeling, because for me what happens a lot with students is in the start of the downswing, a lot of golfers put a huge amount of emphasis into rotation. And the problem is if you sort of really rotate very hard and aggressively in the start of the downswing, what will end up happening is your hands and arms will end up working too far out in front of you. And when that starts to happen, this forces you to kind of figure out a way to do loads of sort of external rotation of this arm to be able to keep the club on plane. But then the issue with this is this really opens up the face. So then you're coming down with a really open face, and it then sort of forces you to swing the club massively to the left. And although some golfers can kind of make this work, the reality is, from a sort of biomechanical perspective, it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary amount of movement. So when Pete Cowen talks about this sort of feeling of walking through the ball, I really like that. And that's where the step drills have a huge amount of value. Now, one of the step drills that I always do with students is I always make sure that, first of all, when they're practicing, so if I got set up to this ball here, put my left foot by my right foot, as I sort of swing back, what I'm doing is I'm walking or I'm stepping to my left, but what I'm equally doing is I'm keeping the weight on my right side. Now, one of the misconceptions is, because although weight is moving left, right, so there's obviously some degree of weight underneath my left toe, it's not all of it. And the problem is, you see, is if you put too much weight on your left side as you start this downswing, you'll get kind of stuck, okay? So what we do need to do is we need to make sure we're not like lunging into the left side, we're just sort of stepping or walking quite nicely. So I'm still keeping weight on my right side. And then you see from here, I can now then use the weight that's underneath my right side to kind of naturally push. Okay, as I move my weight now and I push this over towards my left side, and then we can kind of finish that swing and swing through. So these are the sort of drills that you want to practice. Now, the other massive advantage to this sort of step drill is, and this is why I love my rope trainer, is because you can start to incorporate this whilst working on your tempo. So what happens with a lot of people is they step too soon. Okay, and what you want to do is or they swing back and then they step. You want to make sure your club reaches the capacity of its backswing as you step. So the rope is hitting me on the back at the same time I'm moving my lead foot. And it doesn't matter what tempo you want to do this, whether you want to swing quicker or smoother, faster or slower. It's up to you, who cares, right? So that's down to you, right? That might just be part of your natural DNA. We know some pros, John Rahm, much brisker. Others, Freddie Couples, can't be bothered, just does it at his own sort of pace. But the point that I'm making is that that stepping sensation is key, because that's what gives you that linear motion. And then what that does is then, if I sort of demonstrate it this way, a step, and now from here, look, my arms can drop down to the side of my body. And then that means I can come down that swing plane and then strike that golf ball. And of course, if you want to, you can hit some shots with that step drill. It's up to you. But I'd certainly suggest that you practice it, at least behind the scenes. I'll see you soon.